Hello, Simon here. Recently, I was in the hospital and I was speaking to one of the nurses who comes from Africa about what she did after she left work. And she said, well, after work, I go to the gym, then I go home, then I cook a meal, and I spend my evenings typing messages to my friends or talking on WhatsApp with my friends back home. And I said, oh, do you have any friends in the UK? And she said, well, no, I don't really know how to go out and do that. So I thought, well, this could be an opportunity to make a quick video. If you're living and working in the UK and you haven't yet managed to make any friends with any of the locals, I'm going to talk about some of the options that are open to you. The first one you could do is go out with people from work. Of course, I mean, you see them every day, you know their names, you know something about them. And the thing is that you'll have something in common. And they probably have friends of their own that they invite, and you can get to know them. This happened a lot to me when I was teaching overseas in places like Slovakia and Hungary. I didn't know anybody, so I would go out with the people I worked with. They would introduce me to friends of theirs, and eventually I didn't have to go out with my workmates. Through them, I had met new people, and through those people that I'd been introduced to, I met even more people that I had something in common with. So it's a good start. One of the bad things about it is that you will invariably be talking shop with your colleagues, just talking about work, and that can get really, really dull. The other thing is, of course, that you see enough of these people at work. You're working with them every day. You don't really want to be spending all your time with them. You might not be able to show your real self to these people. You don't want to show what you're really like because, you know, when you go to work the next morning, you have to be this professional person. And also, they might be married. So, or they might have kids and they might not be able to go out as often. That happened to me in Croatia. Everyone I worked with, I was 30, and everyone I worked with was in their late 50s. And they were all female and all married. And they just didn't want to spend time with a 30-year-old bloke like me. So it's not always the best way, but it could be a start. Another thing is in the UK that there's a online app called Meet Up, and you can search for people with similar interests to yourself, even if it's swimming or if it's walking in the countryside, canoeing, whatever. You'll find somebody there. Personally, for me, it's not the sort of thing I'd go for. I don't really like that sort of group mentality. Like Groucho Marx, the famous actor, comedian, said, I don't want to be a member of a club that would have me as a member. And that's pretty much me. But for some people, it works. Another thing is you could look for groups like on Facebook, like Italians in the UK. Now, this is quite good. I've been on the Italians in the UK. It's quite good for an internet chat. You can ask for advice about certain maybe legal problems or passport problems or things like that. And if you do meet up, it's great because you speak the same language. You can be a bit freer, maybe, in your interaction. But downsides are it only happens in mainly bigger cities. And the negative thing is that you'll be talking in your own language, which isn't really helping you integrate into British society. But it's a good to start. Maybe it's a good way to start to stop you feeling lonely. Another thing in the UK, if you like going to pubs, you don't have to be going out drinking lots of alcohol. In the UK now, we have lots of pubs that are actually alcohol free. They don't serve any alcohol at all, but they are pubs. And they will have a quiz night. Quiz nights are great. You don't need to know everything about British culture. If you can get a team together, maybe you just want go in and just be brave and just say, can I join your team? There's always going to be some subject that people don't know about and something that you will know about. You get to know these people. They're held weekly. That's a great way of meeting people. And if you attend regularly, you're going to get to know these people better. You're not just going to be sitting there in silence doing the quiz. You're going to be talking a lot about other interests and outside, and you'll find that you might have something even more in common with these people. As you can probably tell, I'm not a very sporty person. I don't go to the gym at all. I don't think going to the gym is actually any good because you're sitting there working out and doing your exercises on your own. You very rarely tend to speak to people. But going to the sports centre, maybe joining a team sport or like netball if you're a woman, or maybe a yoga class. After class, you're going to be speaking to each other. Thing I've found mainly as a man is that standing at the bar in a pub is one of the best ways. People say, oh, go to the pub, meet people. But if you go to the pub and sit at the back with a glass of lemonade or a pint of beer, people aren't going to interact. If you stand at the bar, you are guaranteed that someone will speak to you. You don't have to start the conversation even. As soon as they find out that you're not from England, or not from Britain, I should say, they're going to ask you questions. They're going to get chatting to you. You'll be interesting. That's a great way of meeting new people. You just got to take that step. It's not going to come to you if you're in your flat or in your house share. It's not going to come to you. You have to go out and get it. That's the main thing, I would say. So get out there, join a club, go to a cafe, talk to somebody. Every day, talk to the person behind the counter at your local shop. They'll get to know your name. That's great. I've been to see a few bands and things by meeting a guy from the local shop. He works behind the counter, and I sort of said, oh, he looked at a badge of I was wearing. And he said, oh, I like that band. I was like, oh, great. Yeah, what other music do you like? And he said, and then he told me he was in a band. So I went to watch his band and met some of his friends, and we've had a great time. So there's always an opportunity, but please, please, please don't just sit at home on your mobile. Bye-bye for now.